Hey everyone, how's it going? This is Adrian with another release for Avo. Today we're releasing 3.11 and let me show you. Remember how I told you the last few times we had the biggest release yet? Well, I'm just gonna keep scrolling. Like this is getting crazy. This is getting crazy. So all of this work happened in just 1 month. So it's amazing. So I want to thank all of our contributors and everybody that's sending in issues and discussions and PRs, definitely, and contributions, and helping us making the Avo story even a cooler one. So let's get into it. I won't today we'll do something different. I won't go through each one of them, but I have a few that just stood out to me and I'll try to address those. So we improved performance a little bit. It happens in memory and in the front end, and a few other things like with the actions. So things should be a little bit quicker now. We refactored a few things inside to get away from some private APIs and to make our life and the developer experience a little bit better. We updated a lot of dependencies, added some tests. What else? We dropped HTTP as a dependency. We updated ransack to use 4.20. So if you remember, a while back we had some issues with the ransack. It didn't work properly with 7.2, and then Greg Molnar helped and pushed that fix, and we were recommending you using one of our forks for ransack 4.2, and now you don't have to. This should work out of the box, so please upgrade and add this dependency constraint. What else? We did a security patch. What else? We're now using application secret key based directly. So before we were using secrets and credentials and yada yada yada, but now we're just going through it. Next to the bug fixes, now you can use edit and association policy. So before it wasn't applied properly, but now it is. The dynamic filter suggestions on tags. Yeah, so now whenever you're using the dynamic filters and you have a filter of type tags, you can now pass in suggestions and they will show up. CSS-based solution for the sidebar without JavaScript dependencies. So thank you so much, Gerard. So basically, let me see if I can find that recording. Yeah, it's gonna be buttery smooth, like everything just bloop 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 bloop, just goes on and on. So it's a tiny thing, but it's amazing. Thank you so much, and we definitely appreciate it. Pagi versus 9 compatibility. Thank you so much, Yaro, for this PR. What else? What else? So a lot of bug fixes. I won't go through all of them, but a lot of them. Cool. And we are, in the not so short features list. So let's get on to it. Hide empty menu groups and sections. So now whenever you have, let me just go into my Avo initializer. Whenever you have, I don't have it here, but maybe in the demo app, Avo. So you can create you can configure the main menu or the profile menu. Well, before, if you had a group, for example, and you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever resources, but you had this visible kind of tag on them, if all of those would have been hidden because of the visibility rule, the group would still show up. But now, through magic, we just don't show the group anymore if it's empty for that current user or that set of rules. So it's a cool thing. Apply target resource policy on belongs to field with create new link. Cool. So let me show you how this would work. If you create a new project, a project should belong to a user, maybe a team. Let's try with a team. So a team, create new team. Maybe it's a different one. Maybe it's a course link. Yep, you could create a new course. Well, if you had a policy for the creation of a course in motion, and that would be set to false, this would still show up and the users would click and it would show a 404. But now it will be hidden because it will properly read out that policy rule. Search count per resource. This is a cool one. Thank you so much, Avi, for this. You can set the search count on a per resource basis. So it looks kind of like, what is it? Kind of like, we don't have it. We don't have it configured. Yeah, so besides the query, you'll be able, actually, let me show you. User resources. I'm going to go to the search, and now you can say what results count, and I'll just do this, and you'll say 8 or 800 or whatever you want. I know it was a very requested feature, so I know some of you guys are going to be happy about it. Extra map markers. Yeah, Paul did an amazing job for this. So now you can have in your map view, you can add extra markers. This would be a Lambda. And in this Lambda, you can do whatever you want. You can query the database, you can hard code them, you can query like an API somewhere, and you'll get like new markers, and you can configure them a little bit, and you'll have them on the map besides the records. What else? We are aliasing close model to do nothing. Just looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit cooler. So where is it? Do nothing. Maybe here. Well, we don't have it. So it's the do nothing. Yeah. So basically, somebody will click the link. They'll have nothing done and then do nothing. So basically, it will not try to redirect back to the resource or the referrer. It will just close the model and perform the action. Add attachments to records. Yeah, this is a cool one. Julian Rubish actually came up with this idea of having oh, this is a bigger one. Okay, with single includes and single attachments. Yeah, perfect. So you know how you have this includes option on a resource. So now if you used to have an attachment, what we would suggest, it would be something like photo, and then you have to open up and you say, okay, give me the blob as well. So this would basically include in the index view, it will include that attachment. But now with this cool little addition, you can do something like come on, self.attachments, and you can just say photo. And now Avo will know to add that attachment to your into the index view. And this also adds the single includes and single attachments, which will be applied when a single record is being fetched from the database. So let me tell you a little bit of how this is working. So I'm going to do single includes, and I'm going to say like, give me the post, for example. And whenever I follow, actually, let me go to a user. Whenever I go to a user and I open it up, like we are protected from n+1 here by the includes statement, right? It will fetch the post and post for each one. But if we go into just one, I'm just going to use JSON. So imagine you have like 3 fields that require, all 3 of them require the post. You'll have, I don't know, the post title, the post whatever, if the post was published or whatever. What would happen with, the record would have been passed to these fields, but it wouldn't be hydrated with the post, even though we have it in the includes. But this only works on the index view, only on the listing. And then if you request post in 3 of them, it would just do an n+1 on this page. Well, now you can use single includes, and you can select, okay, I want the post as well, and this post will be included in each of those. So this is a very, very cool addition. So thank you, Julian Rubish, for showing us the way with attachments. It's definitely a cool step up. Allow actions to render turbo streams. Yes, Paul did some work, some cool work on this. So what happens is we did some changes to the actions from, I know, these started probably like a year ago, and we started migrating slowly from a HTTP response to a turbo stream response. We first migrated a few, I think a few redirects and a few alerts, and then we migrated the download, and then we quickly figured out that, hey, it's not we can't really dynamically respond from the backend with a turbo stream or like an HTTP response. Like turbo doesn't work that way in this scenario. So what we did is we converted all the actions to only render turbo streams, right? And now what this means, we also have this ability of in an action to respond with this thing, append to response. So you can add multiple custom turbo streams to the action, and this will help you, like if you want to add like turbo power, power. If you want to add something like turbo power, and actually I think we actually have it, so you can use it. Let me just check really quick. Package power, yeah, we have it. So basically you can use any of these freaking cool actions that that Marco built. So yeah, it's a very cool thing, and it will allow you to like redirect to another action very easily. So it's a very cool addition. So I really encourage you to explore it. Or modifier when filtering by the same attribute. So Avo demo, let's open up maybe projects and open up the filters and say country, and I'll say Croatia because I see it, and I hit apply. If I add another country, and I'll try to find one. Maybe I should just okay, Bahamas, perfectly, we were lucky. So now this works. Previously it didn't. So how filtering usually works, we checked other apps, other websites, is when you have the same attribute, the operator between them is usually or, and before we had it and, because if you add another condition which is a different one, like the stage, you'll say stage and country or country, right? So we changed the and operator to or if it's the same attribute, and we kept and if it's a different attribute. So yeah, this just makes it a little bit more in line with other apps. Create button to nullify datetime fields. Yes, I think Yaro was the first one to raise this issue. So before, if you would set a date to the field, there would be no way of making it empty again. But now you have this cool little button that will just reset it. Options for select in dynamic filters. So now if you have a filter of type select, and you, like this one, and you take control and you customize it with the dynamic filter property. I'll just show you which one it is right now. Dynamic filters, and you can say options. It's this one right here. No, it's actually lower. Where is it? Yep. So it's this one right here. You can select the options that appear there. So basically here you'll see all the countries, but you can have only a few if you really want that. Render action controls without adding the action to actions method. Perfect. I'll just show you how this works. So I'll go into fish, maybe the fish resource. So in the show controls and edit controls and index and whatever, whenever you wanted to use something like an action, you would have to have this action inside the def actions method. This was happening because the way we built it in the beginning, and that wasn't correct, and now you can remove it from here and just declare it in your controls, and everything will work nicely. Add visible option to panels. It's exactly what it says. For if you have like a panel, let me see if we can have the one. So we have this recording, a panel, you can add visible, and you have a block with everything you need inside, and you can make it visible or invisible based on whatever you need. Add visible option to panel. Oh, okay, we talked about this. I wanted to just show you this one. Add visible option to tab, same thing, and add visible option to tabs, same freaking thing. Thank you so much, Ryan, for these amazing contributions. Back to our list. Restructure Avo BaseResource for user customization. Cool, perfect. You requested this a while back. Thank you so much, Yash, for this. Yash from Dublin. So what happens is, I'll just go to the user resource. The user resource and all of your resources, they inherit from Avo BaseResource. And now we've made it so that Avo BaseResource is actually, you can override it inside your app. You can add it somewhere around here, I think. We'll have documentation on that. And now you'll have this base class. I think it's base resource or .rb. We'll check the documentation, Avo resources base, and now you'll have this class, which is like the super class for all of your resources. So for example, if you have like one field that repeats itself everywhere, right? And I'll just choose a field, for example, is admin, right? You can go in here and say def is admin field, and then you just pop this in. You'll be able actually, how is it? So field, yeah, you'll be able to do something like is admin field, and you can use this declaration everywhere. You can also do things like def field, and then you'll take like the name, arguments, and block, and you can do something like make all the fields. You'll do like super. Actually, let's do this. Args equals args of read only equals true, whatever, if name is admin or whatever, and then you'll say super name args, and then say block. Of course, you can make this prettier and make this anonymous and whatever, but you get the point. And now all the fields that are used by all your resources will have that attribute added to them, and you can figure out like how you can further manipulate this. So this is just like a taste, and now you can like take control and you can have like default options to each field, and you can use like whatever, like you can have like your own panels and stuff. You get the point. So it's a cool thing to have this. And we have the resource. Do we have an injector for it? Avo BaseResource. Yeah. Okay, so we'll probably build an injector for it, but yeah, this is these are the docs for it. Cool. What else? Add translations for different languages. Yeah, we changed a few things. Oh, actually, we added a few things. We saw a tweet that we don't have like German language. Now we have it, and a few others. So go check them out. Add visible. We talked about this. Add default sort column. Yeah, thank you so much, Ryan, again. So you can add a default sort column for a resource. It will default to created that, but now it's default sort column. It will now take this property that you configure in the resource. So everything will be sorted by default by this attribute. Thanks, Ryan. Custom search drivers. This is not actually like a feature. It's more of a fix. Like we did promise in the past that this is possible, but I think we pushed some code at some point which broke it. And what happens is in the query, we always said like you can use Elasticsearch, you can use, and I know some of you do use Elasticsearch, or you can query like the API, an HTTP endpoint, or you can query the database in a different way than what we provide with Ransack. So now you can like basically just return an array of things which you'll have the documentation on, and it will just work. Well, we pushed some code a while back which made it broke. We just assumed that this would be an active record query, and we were running some accounts on it, and so that broke it. But now it works, so it's not broken anymore. Display warning when menu editor is used in community license. I know you need more warnings. We know that. We definitely know that. The thing is that it's not like a super straightforward way of like, okay, we'll add these 3 lines, and whenever the rules of the license are broken or whatever, everything will, you'll see feedback about it. So no, it's not working like that. We need to sometimes we can automate that, but sometimes we need to do that manually. So now you'll see an error like this warning message, like the menu editor is available only on the pro license, if you're using the pro the menu editor and you're not you don't have the pro license. So we're improving that as we go. Run callbacks on through model when detaching association. Yes, this is another big saga. If you check out the issue, I think there are more linked to it. I mean, I think more people complained about this. It's a long story. So okay, whenever you're detaching a through resource, so one user has many teams through memberships. Whenever you detach it, there's this question of, do you just want to delete that through record, or do you want to actually delete the whole thing? And of course, you just want to delete, you don't want to delete the user, but the through record. But the way Rails does it when you hit like detach, it does like a delete on it and not a destroy, so it won't run the callbacks. But now we made it so that whenever you do it, it will trigger those calls, those callbacks. So if you ever had this issue, I definitely encourage you to like read the bug and read the PR as well, because the team has talked about this a little bit. And I think it's, yeah, have to set the inverse on it. So yeah, definitely read about it. But it's a good thing that we have this option. Next, add visible options for tabs. Add optional confirmation on save. Thank you, Gerard, for this. So what this does, whenever you can add this option, do we have it here? No, we don't. Actually, I think we have it somewhere on a store. Okay, store. And then we have confirm on save. And let me show you how this works. I'm going to go to a store and I'm going to try to create a new store. And when I hit save, are you sure you want to do that? And again, this is probably more helpful if you're using it on an edit, just to introduce a little bit more friction for those records, for those resources that are a little bit more, I don't know, they take a little bit more attention, right? And you want to make the team like, are you sure you want to make the team aware of like, hey, you need to make sure that you're saving the proper stuff. Like it's not, you're not just clicking too fast on it. So yeah, thank you, Gerard, for this. It's an amazing, Gerard Simpson. Thank you so much for this contribution. Popovers in action lists. This is just, supporting the title attribute on an action list and showing like a tooltip, like a popover. It's neat to have it. We'll talk about Kanbans in just a second. Full IDs, obfuscation. Yeah. So thank you, Gabriel, for starting on this, and thank you, Avi and Paul, for taking it to the finish line. So what this does, this is a cool one. So what happens is we are obfuscating, we are actually, through this PRES, we are obfuscating all the IDs that might end up in the DOM, right? Or at least we try, we search really, really hard for it. So what happens is if you have a, if you're using like hash ID or like prefixed IDs or friendly ID or whatever slugging system where you want a nice slug, some things would just leak through. Like for example, if we go back to the form, this would be resources, and this would show something like, I don't know, 39 or whatever the ID would be, right? And there are many places like these where things, the IDs would surface up, and there were quite a few edge cases where we needed to do a little bit extra work. So it's not just a replacement from 2ID to 2PM. So it took a little bit of work, but now hopefully we are obfuscating the ID everywhere you go, right? Because it's one thing to have it in the URL, but to have it in the form, to have it in all of the other forms like attaching and detaching and all the other stuff, that's a different thing. So this is why using something like Avo can protect you against, just forgetting about these things. So if you see any other non-obfuscated IDs where it should be obfuscated, definitely let us know. Set default scopes. Yes, I know personally a few people that will love this feature. So a while back we added removing the, where is it? We are removing this scope all. So let me show you how this looks like. So I think in teams, no, actually in users. So these are the scopes, the Avo scopes, where you can have like all, and you can have like different kind of scopes where they filter out some of these records. Well, we in the past we added the ability to remove this all filter, but we didn't add any way of adding a default scope. So now this PR does exactly that, and now you just set default true on it. Maybe we have it here, maybe we don't. It's gonna be a surprise. We definitely have it in the docs somewhere. Actually, let's see if we have it. Scopes default. Yes. So you add like scope, 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 and then default true. And then when Avo will load that page, it will start with basically, let's say, the admin's page, and you won't see this or anything else. It would just work. You can also add like a false, like a faux, all scope after that. You get the point. Cool, 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 cool. Display additional fields when attaching a record to another. Another cool, cool, cool PR. Thank you, Avi, for taking this through the finish line. So what happens is, let me show you, is whenever you attach something like in a through record, so for example, not when a hasn't belongs to many, but you have something like a user hasn't belongs to, has many memberships through a membership, let's call it has many members through a membership. That membership record model might have some fields attached to it. Well, now you can, whenever you attach a record, you can also fill in those fields, right? And this, I think I can show you this. I think in stores, I'll open a store and they have like patron, and basically, let me show you actually how this looks. Store, resource, and we have this new option which is called attach fields. So a patron has many through patrons, right? And the patron, store patron, it has this record. I don't have it here, but it has this field of review, right? And now let me just format it. Yeah, you can tell it like, yeah, add these fields. Let me just make it simpler. Yeah, you can tell it like, okay, on the attach model, add these fields as well. And this is exactly what happens. You have this review field, and you'll have the switcher, of course, where you attach which one. And then when you say whatever, you hit add attach, and just goes into the database, and this membership pivot record will have the review on it. So it's a cool addition. So we're at the last feature of the day, add breadcrumbs to association pages. Let me show you how this works. I'm going to go into a theme, and I'm going to go here on memberships. I'm just going to click this memberships title, and you'll see now that I'm in the memberships page, but everything is scoped out to the Google theme, and now I can click Google and I can go back. If you're wondering how is this clickable and what this does, I invite you to come to our office hours this Friday, August 9th at 11 a.m. EST, where I talk a little bit about this feature that I just showed you, why it's clickable, the reload button, and everything else, because they are like a nice suite of things that you can use. Yep, and that's about it for today's release. A huge release. Thank you for sticking by. It wouldn't be a release video if I don't tell you a little bit about Friendly. In case you missed it, we have announced all the speakers. Let me just make this a little bit smaller. Yes, we have announced maybe most of the speakers. We're still thinking about, we're still in discussions with a few people. So you might know some of them from online. Some of them you might have seen them as attendees at conferences, but some of them I promise you've never seen on stage. So definitely come and join. We're going to have these 12 talks. We're going to have a discussions panel. Lucian is going to talk about and like lead the panel with Celso, Hanna, Alexandru, and Christian. And we're going to talk about Rails, actually Ruby at scale, because these people right here, they actually really push Ruby to the limit, and they can confirm that Ruby does scale. We do have other surprises in store. We do have activities, as you well know, and I'm sure that everybody's gonna make a new friend at least, and it's a great like networking opportunity for you to connect with your community, the community that you love, and also spend some cool time in Bucharest and Romania, which is a great place to visit. So if you haven't visited yet, this is the perfect opportunity. Yeah, tickets still on sale, so thank you. I'm not gonna make this video any longer. Huge release. Thank you to all of our contributors. I just wanna show them here. So Sirin, thank you so much. Heavy user of Avo. Jolion, I'm sorry. Joel, thank you so much for helping. We introduced his literal gem. We replaced dry-rb with it, and it's sweet as hell. Praveen, thank you so much. Yaro, amazing. Ryan, I appreciate it. Ryan came on our first office hours session, and he said like, hey, we'd like that. Can we contribute that? Of course, that's the best way to do it. Thank you, Yash. Of course, thank you, Paul, Gabriel, and Avi, and thank you, Gerard, for all your freaking amazing contributions. And thank you, everybody, for being an amazing community and helping Avo become even cooler. Have a good one.